It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Talladega College head esports coach and director of esports, Carlise Tucker. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in esports?
Yeah. So back when I was here I'm an alumni from Talladega College, class of 2018. When I graduated, I had already taken a position here at Talladega College. And one of the things I always wanted to start it was an anime club for all the blurs out there. So Blur Nation is strong on Talladega College campus. And we went from watching Dragon Ball Z every Saturday night, that when the Dragon Ball Z Super came out, then the pandemic hit. So we was kind of scattered, but I still wanted a way for us to join together and be geeks and nerds. So the next thing was gaming. We started with a little small gaming club playing, Super Smash Brothers, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. And then as the pandemic eased up, we had some technology money. So I asked to build an esports lab to actually let us play. And now we are actually a part of NACE, and we have quite a few teams that compete during the semester. This is our second season playing with NACE.
Of course, what was it like going to Talladega College and getting to compete in esports as a collegiate athlete?
So I didn't get to compete because we didn't have it at the time. I played in the band when I was at Talladega College, but we did have a lot of gaming tournaments while I was here. So that got the first initial start off. Just people on campus always wanted to play games. We had actually quite a few students who were actually in the competitive field, not myself, but there was a competitive gaming for Madden, 2K, and fighting games. So I joined one of the 2K teams, and we got started. But so I went to collegiate sports, but now my students who are collegiate athletes, they're having a great time because, again, they didn't believe me when I said, hey, we're going to have an esports team at Talladega College. Nobody believed me until I turned on the first computer. We actually built our own computers also. One behind me right now, there's one of our first computers that we built. As a iBuyPower, we actually literally built it from scratch. And the one next to it that's a skeleton is an MSI computer that we're upgrading. So they did not believe me until, like I said, until we plugged them in, turned them on, and then boom, games was flying.
Of course, what was that feeling like for you to be the first ever to have Talladega College esports?
Man, I'm going to give you a better feeling. You know how it feels when you walk into GameStop and tell you need 5 Nintendo Switches? Those people looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, nah, Talladega College got the esports teams, and I need 5 Nintendo Switches for my Super Smash team to practice while they're in their dorm rooms. At first, they didn't even want to sell me the Switches. They were like, nah, we can't sell you. I had to call the manager to get them to sell me 5 Switches. And then I had to go to another store to get 2 more Switches. So, but that feeling of just accomplishment, like I said, again, a lot of people didn't think this was going to happen. I had big support with the IT department, especially my dean of my provost, Dr. Johnson, who said, Mr. Tucker, I see that you were passionate about this. She didn't understand what esports was. She called it EA Sports for like 2 years as I was fighting to get the program. I was like, no, ma'am, EA Sports make Madden. I'm talking about esports. So, we made history and being one of the only HBCUs in the state of Alabama that has an esports program that's literally a collegiate sport, not just an esports club.
Of course, what was that like, obviously being the inaugural coach and getting to run the program from the start?
It was hard. It was very hard. So being in Talladega, Alabama, we don't have a lot of outreach, or we don't have a lot of things that come through the city to allow us to have all the necessities of like a big college. So we're like this little college all in the woods. So we're very out of the way. So everything I had to do, I had to learn it before I did it. Even the broadcasting, right now I'm in the broadcasting booth right now. Like I have 5 screens up. You can't see it, but I have 5 screens up. This is how we stream my games. I have computers on the other side of me. I have more computers in the next room. We literally had to build it from scratch. Literally, we brought computers from MSI, then had to upgrade. Then we had to build our own network. Because the Talladega College network didn't allow us to communicate outside the Talladega domain. So it was very hands-on. I got my computer science student involved. Like I said, we got the mass media students involved. It was very hard starting up, but once we got this thing rolling, every game was an issue. Every game day we had an issue with something, but we strived through it because some of the Smash Brothers games, we could have been undefeated this year in our Smash Brothers games. But we had a lot of technical issues every game that allow us not to compete until we got that fixed by doing some networking issues. So it was a lot more than just playing the games. I'm not even talking about the coaching part because everybody think they're a gamer until you have the time to compete. And it's like, oh, well, we really got to strategize. So this is not just a time to just pick up the controller and we just start playing. Now we have to come to as a team and literally learn the things that we don't learn on a normal casual gameplay.
Of course, what was that like going from being a chemistry person to then getting into esports?
Oh man! So first of all, my other grad was chemistry, Talladega College. I was always a gamer, so playing games was my mental break because chemistry is very hard. When I was at Talladega College, I had a chemistry professor. He worked for the CIA, so he knew he was a mastermind at chemistry. So I couldn't come half step in, but I always needed a break. So I own every Nintendo ever made. I have a collection. So when I was here, the Wii U was out at the time. So I brought a Wii U and a PS4 at the time, and those were my go-to games. And then as I did chemistry and I finished my master's in system engineering, so that allowed me to begin to design my own thing. So when I came back to Talladega College after my master's, I began to design some different rooms, and one of the rooms was an esports lab. That's actually my design is finally complete in the process of building that esports lab right as we speak.
Of course, as the head coach and using your engineering background, what has that been like, obviously getting to use that engineering background to build your own esports lab for the College of Talladega?
So cool thing about being an engineering building, I know how to design. I know how to design with tomorrow in mind, because most people, I'm not talking about nobody's schools, but some people, when they build an esports lab, they don't design for the future. I've been to a couple of esports labs. They have 12 computers in the room that they can't stretch out. Right now, I'm starting off with 24 computers in the room. That's not even that can be moved to a bigger spot. So everything I'm trying to do is all based off of allowing me to be able to upgrade in the future. The desk, the chairs, all been designed by me personally. The floor, the walls, even the lighting, those aesthetics has been designed by me, so I can make sure that in the future that I can always upgrade, change with the time. And so I'm not spending a lot of money here, and I can always have money for the future. But you're also using my engineering with esports is also allowing me to design different game plans for my different teams to allow them to also understand that not every game is going to be played the same, especially my Call of Duty squad and my CSGO, my Counter-Strike Global Force, because those two are first-person shooters, but you don't play it as if you was playing Call of Duty at home. You have to be strategic about it. We have to design. We have to learn the map. So those kind of things jumped right into me with the planning and designing of not only the lab, but also my game plan for each day.
What was that feeling like getting to become the head coach for esports and the director of esports for your alma mater?
Man, first of all, let me tell you, Talladega, I love Talladega. I'm glad I came to the school as my undergrad. I saw a lot of things that I wish I would have had when I was here. And because now I work here and they be like, Mr. Tucker, what do you think we should have? I'm going to say esports. That's the first conversation I had. They're like, hey, Mr. Tucker, what could bring, like help the students' morale? Because not only do we play varsity esports, but also the new esports lab is open to all students during the day, during the night, so they can also have that time to get away because we're in Talladega and because we're out in the boonies, internet could be spotty. But we created our own internet, we created our own network, so we have the fastest internet probably in the whole city of Alabama, in the whole city of Talladega. It was designed by us personally, the network and all that. So, but that feeling of letting, my classmates, people who came before me, they was excited. I'm like, oh, Mr. Tucker, you brought esports to Talladega? Like, it was unheard of. We don't even have a football team. So we were like, yeah, I'm bringing esports to Talladega. So it was just, I was overwhelmed. I've been excited, but I was ready to work. And everybody who else saw it was like, wow, I can't believe he really do it. Like, some people still shocked that I still was able to do this in a year.
Of course, being the director of esports, what has that been like, obviously having it as a collegiate sport where you have those competitions, but then, as you said, those like those college students can also come into the esports lab and play video games just for fun?
I'm gonna tell you how it's been. I work from 8 to midnight now because they won't leave my lab. I work from 8 to midnight. You can ask any student. I don't leave the lab. I don't leave the building because they want to always play. They want to always be here. It's cool, you have the ability to not only play the games that we play, but do you know how many people play Apex and Fortnite? Oh my God, it is ridiculous because we don't play right now. I didn't play Fortnite competitively because I wanted to focus on mostly my higher games, but we did do Fortnite tournaments at the school and they came out in droves to play Fortnite. Actually, we also did a Throwback Thursday. And the Throwback Thursday, we went, so my computer science people built simulators on the gaming machines. So they built PS2 simulators, Nintendo Q game simulators. So we were playing like the NFL streets, the NBA streets, the original Super Smash Brothers Melee. So we got, I know one of my professors loved the fact that we built our own arcade game simulator. So he was playing Pac-Man all day. So it was not only the students, but right now I got a professor right now. He probably in the room. He brought his wheel. I have iRacer. So now he's driving. So now I got to go design my own iRacing chair. I might just buy it because I don't feel like it. But this has been an eye-opening journey for not just my students, but for the whole college campus, because this allows a lot of people to blow up some steam in a nice giveaway.
Of course, as head coach, what are some of the things that you've accomplished so far?
So as head coach, my Rocket League team went undefeated in their conference this year. I had my Rocket League team, my Call of Duty team, and my Super Smash Brothers make it to their prospective playoffs. My Rocket League team actually won their prospective playoff, while my other two teams was knocked out in the third round, closer to the finish. So cool things also, we are adding more games. We added Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, and actually we have, so the college won the chess team. And when they brought up the conversation of the chess team, I was like, hey, esports can have chess because we got chess.com. Because normally the chess team will play each other. And I'm like, no, we need to play outside of Talladega College. So we also brought in a chess team. We also brought, we have some students who play Hearthstone. I know you ever heard of Hearthstone. Hearthstone is a card game like Magic, but it's online. So we brought in Hearthstone. And actually, I am an avid Yu-Gi-Oh player. So we brought in Yu-Gi-Oh too. So we've been adding games, and we just been allowing our students to take over this esports, and I've just been directing.
Of course, what has that been like, obviously being the director of esports, and what are some of your roles and responsibility as that director?
So right now, because I'm director and coach, director right now is first, my main goal was marketing, to let people know that we had in esports. Again, that's why I was so happy when you called me like, hey, you want to do anything? Yes, I do, because I need to get it out there. This is part of my marketing strategy. The second part is also making sure that my teams are there, because remember, this is college. I don't know why college students always think they got time to do things. So cool thing is I make sure the team is here on time to play. We play Monday through Friday, even on weekends. So I have a game every day during the semester. Next thing, a lot of my students, they like to work, but none of them like to shadow cast. So I had to step into the shadow casting role. Me and another student step into the shadow casting role to give y'all that little if of Talladega College, but most also finding my students scholarships, partnerships, internships, sponsorships. That's more of what I've been doing for the director's part, and also educating people who don't know about esports. When I bring up esports, most people don't know. So I go recruiting at the high schools. Just not too long ago, I just came from another high school. I recruited, and they had just started the esports team. So I actually helped them set up their esports team and gave them some of the do's and don'ts that I already went through. So yeah, I try to give back to all the community around me.
Of course, what is that like, obviously, getting to play Madden and 2K?
So now 2K, I used to be an avid 2K player. Right now, I have a lot of students like to play 2K, but they also have to realize playing 2K is not the same thing as playing 2K at your house. No, you can't be a ball hog. You have to pass the ball. Now, my Madden people, they can ball hog because it's only them playing. But my 2K teams are 3s and 5s, so we do the pro am and we do the 3-on-3 park. So we mostly focus on actual real gameplay, just not trying to be the superstar. So playing 2K is really at first I was against it. I said I don't want no sports simulators. Yeah, I can do that at your house. But then I realized that a lot of people only know Madden and 2K. They don't know the other games that we play, because esports is not Madden and 2K. We call those sports simulators an hour. So there's Madden, 2K, FIFA, and we stick to more of the game with a little more skill. So what I mean by skill is Madden and 2K, depending on what you're playing, you can literally buy your way to the top. Whereas a Rocket League or the CSGO, you can buy all you want, but you have to have skills to play those games. But we're getting to the point to where Madden and 2K will be a skill-based game, due to the fact that how we're playing now versus how we played back in when it first came out.
Of course, what has that been like? Obviously, for example, let's use a normal player may want to play Madden and 2K just for fun versus what does that competition look like playing Madden and 2K?
Also, so if they want to play for fun, that's no problem. Like I said, we host those tournaments. They come in, they play, game fun. Just they take whatever they've been playing at home, they bring it in. Now, if you want to be on the competition side, it's more muscle memory. We're not just throwing up. I know you see people play 2K, they're always trying to get the highlights, trying to dunk on somebody, trying to shoot. No, not my teams. When we play 2K, we're literally playing like the Spurs. Pass, 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 pass again, then shoot the ball. So it's a big difference playing, like I said, casually and then competitively. I know some people also, biggest thing, we play defense. That's the difference. We play defense in competitive 2K. All right. Most times you see a lot of highlights. Nobody's playing defense. We play defense.
Of course, what are some of the schools that you play against?
So here's the thing. One thing about esports, I can tell you, so Talladega is not a D2 school yet. Actually, we are a D3. We're in the NIA. We'll be going to D2 in the fall. But the cool thing about esports, D1s, 2s, and 3s doesn't matter. This semester, I played against Rochester, North Carolina, MIT, just to name a few. I played big and small. We have played against Faulkner. We have played against FAMU. We have played against the University of Florida, the Gators. So cool thing about being in ACE that we have a spectrum of from small, because we're just a smaller HBCU, but we're playing against all top schools in our division. So
What has that been like? Obviously, as you said, getting to play some of those big dog teams like MIT and some of those teams well known versus playing like teams that aren't well known, like maybe Florida Gators.
So the cool thing about playing both teams, oh man, I could give you this example right here. When we first played against Georgia, Georgia University, the state, the big the Bulldogs, Georgia, they tore us up in Rocket League. I mean, it was nowhere near close the first semester, but that made us want to get better because we was like, hey. So here's the thing about playing esports. I know people play football and basketball. When you look at a D1 versus D3, what's the biggest difference? The coaching staff, the weight room, the field house. You have a lot of difference in between those physical sports. They recruit the bigger player, they recruit the more skilled player. But esports, we don't need to lift weights. We don't need the most fanciest thing. All we need is good internet connection and get better at our craft. So that allow us to actually get better faster. So we try to play like we play scrimmages against other schools all the time. Or I might find people who are great at the game outside of the school, and I'm like, hey, you have a team? Can you have scrimmage against us? We want to see how we up next to you. And then sometimes we get to where a school that's not as good as we are. So then we go help that school. Like, hey, y'all should try this. I have a Super Smash Brother player. His name is Jorge. I don't think the man lost the game yet. And he doesn't mind sitting down and teaching people how to play Super Smash Brothers because somebody had to teach him. But also when he see big schools, he's getting excited because he wants to like, hey, they might be better. So he wants to fight. He's the my Goku on the team. He wants to fight everybody. Doesn't matter who. And that allow us to give us that standpoint of we can always get better, and we can also help other people get better. Because this is it's a team sport, but this is competitive.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've built for the esports program?
The culture. So my culture actually is academics first. I'm a college professor, so I don't want people to think we're just down here in the basement playing video games. Actually, the culture that I built is school first. My students would not play. I can tell you this. Last semester, I was going to shut down the program during midterms because I was not too happy with the level of midterm grades that I saw my students was at. I literally called them all in a meeting. My Call of Duty team was undefeated at the time. My Rocket League team was also had a good spot in the playoffs. And I was about to, erase everything because I'm like, hey, y'all not performing in the classroom. Because one thing about it, and it's the same against all sports, if you cannot follow directions in the classroom, you cannot follow direction in the game, basketball, football, or esports. So my culture that I built was education for us. We're in college, we're student athletes. Also, besides that, I built the Blur campus. That's a Black nerd because we are HBCU. So I built so now that my nerds and my geeks, they can have a spot to be free. If they want a Naruto run up and down the lab after they beat somebody, they Naruto run up and down the lab. So I'm trying to give them the culture of we have to do our work first, so that way we can always have free time to play our games.
What does a typical competition day look like for me?
All right, so actually so even though we play around 6:00, I start competition as soon as I wake up in the morning. So every day I'm wired and ready to go. All right, so competition day, I'm looking at, first of all, I already looked at the other school because we stream our games on Twitch. So I'm looking at the other schools. I'm talking to my team captains like, hey, did you watch this video? So we do a lot of film the day of and the day before the next game. And then I make sure everybody understand what time they need to be in the lab. That's the second I do. Hey, I know we got a game tonight. Make sure y'all be in the lab X, Y, and Z. Then I call on my broadcasting team right around 12 o'clock after lunch. Like, hey, we need X, Y, and Z for the night. Do we have any commercials that we got in? Do we need some sponsorships? We need to put in on our OBS. So I start running the program earlier. So by the time it comes, we could be set up. Now, sometimes technical difficulties happen because these are computers. So I'm always have my IT people on standby. Actually, they be on standby before I get on standby. Many of the times we had to reset the network. Computers went down. So I always have my IT people, and I do checks throughout the day, making sure the network is up, power outage. Even sometimes I have to move. I keep a movable lab just in case we have to move places. But a typical day, I try to make sure that all my, my athletes who are competing that day, make sure they're ready, make sure they understand the mindset, and also still make sure they go to class. Even though it's a game day, we still got to go to class.
Of course, on game day, what is that like, obviously, being in your facility, getting to compete against those teams versus, let's say, for regular sports, you would have a home game and you would go to away.
So cool thing about competing at home that we don't have to do too much is already set up downstairs. All we have so every day is a home game. That's the cool thing about it because we get the broadcast from Twitch, from YouTube, from Facebook Live, right here from the college. So every day can be a home game. Now the coolest thing about that is that everybody can come for free and watch us. You can either watch us in the lab. I have TV set out in the hallways that we broadcast to, so you can watch us. Or you can come watch us on Twitch and see what we do. So another thing about cool, we have a lot of professors who don't mind supporting our stream. I always ask, I said, can you be a Facebook connoisseur, a YouTube disciple? And go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button. So we try to get the games out, and there's a hassle because we have to do it every day. I think that's the thing. So we try to set up things to where we don't always have to touch it, but we're always involving. I tell them I run an involving program because when I started with one computer, one monitor. Like I said, now I got 5. I got a switchboard. I got microphones. So we involve every week.
Of course, what has that been like looking back on your career as a coach, starting out, as you said, with one computer versus now having a whole room of monitors and computers for esports?
Oh man, I don't want to get emotional. It's been a very tough ride because again, when you're the director of esports and the head coach, and you have a lot of people over you who don't understand your goal, so before you do things, you have to explain. So sometimes I don't take the normal route of explaining. Sometimes I am the pinnacle of I will do it now and ask for your forgiveness later. Just due to the fact sometimes I need it ASAP. Prime example, when we start upgrading, we didn't have the funds to have all the stuff we needed for the broadcasting. So we went down to IT. We said, where's you keep all your junk material? And we rated IT for everything that we could get. Motherboards, cooling fans, graphics cards, RAM sticks. We rated, we tore up computers. We rated it. And people just looked at us like, what y'all doing? It was like, well, I ain't got time to ask you to go out and do this, and I need it by next week. But the coolest thing about it, man, is my student growth. My students have, over the years, to see them change from not only being physical, but their mental well-being has been my biggest achievement. Because some of my students came in, they did not know why they wanted to come in college. They thought college was going to be boring until I gave them esports. So now they want to go to class. So now they want to come to the lab. So like I said, my biggest accomplishment that I feel is not only get to this point to where I have multiple computers and screens, it's also seeing my students enjoy themselves while they're in college, because not everybody wants to do the party in the normal college experience. So this is just another, outlet for them. So that's my personal biggest accomplishment.
What does that recruitment process look like for those esports people looking to get into esports on the collegiate level?
Oh man. So my recruitment is different from, the bigger schools, because everybody knows the bigger schools have esports programs. So my recruitment process, I literally have to go to high schools. I have to Actually, what I do now, Birmingham, right down the road from us, have their own esports complex lab. So there's just a company called Eplex, has the esports. People go in there and play. It's not affiliated with no school. So I go in there all the time. I pay my little money, became a member, and every time they had competition, I'm going. I'm not playing. I'm going there for recruitment. Or when I go to the high schools, and I start talking to kids, the first thing I tell them, I don't tell them I'm a professor. I say I'm a gamer who just worked for the college. And like, oh, you're a gamer? So then we have that conversation about esports, and then when I go places, I bring the laptops, the Oculus, I bring all that stuff with me. Like, hey, this is what I do, So I try to get people to understand that for me, like Talladega, this is what we have this stuff at Talladega. Now, on another note, recruitment is probably more easier for the bigger colleges who know like I know Rochester University of Huntsville in Alabama has many teams, but people know because they know who that school is. Again, Talladega, we are trying to get out there, even though we've been around since 1867, the first private HBCU in the state of Alabama. When I came here, I didn't know what Talladega was, besides the movie Talladega Nights, and they had the racetrack NASCAR. So we always. So my recruitment is mostly based off of marketing and trying to get our name up there to let them know that we have an esports team, that we have an esports lab, and that we're competing against those bigger schools.
Of course, as a head coach, what are some of the things that you look at in those prospective athletes in esports?
So most times I look for students who can be coached. I was a student athlete and I was a band member, and some of the worst things I know I did not want to deal with are students who cannot be coached. And I mean that by there's certain students that I just don't want to deal with, who have that like they think they know it all, and that's that non-coachable ability. So I look for students. They don't even have to be the greatest, because again, this is college. Again, we're not sitting here trying to gain muscle overnight. We're sitting here playing a video game. So I look for students who are coachable. Also I look for students who don't mind going to class, because eligibility plays a big role. If you look at any NCAA teams, NIA, or any other conference, the first thing they talk about is eligibility, because GPAs matter in college. It might not matter on the pro side, but it matters here. So I'm looking for students that I don't have to go look for, because if you can show up to class, you can show up to practice. And I don't want to. I look for students who have, like I said, who don't have to have the perfect GPA, but they'll go to the class, take class serious, and I know they'll take esports serious.
Of course, what does that official visit look like for those prospective student athletes coming to Talladega and seeing the esports lab?
Oh yeah, so what we do, I partner with a lot of the different departments on Talladega College for the esports. So we give them a tour of Talladega College when they first come on campus. We have some great tour guides, Mr. Wynn. Shout out to Mr. Wynn. We talk about the history of Talladega College, and then when I have them, I talk about all the things that we do, not only for esports, but also all the things we do outside of esports that correlates with esports. Because I have a lot of students who don't want to play games, but they want to shadowcast. They want to learn how to do production. They want to learn how to do mass media. I touch on all that. So some of my students don't play. They still got time, fixing computers, the 3D printer. But yeah, we 3D print in the esports. I was going to turn it on and print on Mario, but I was like, it was going to take too long. So, we touch a lot of things. So I explained to them, not only do we play video games, we like to expand so that you get to see the whole scope of esports. So if they want to take it seriously and go, and make their own esports programs when they leave, or just, start their own thing outside of Talladega College, that they'll have all the opportunity to do so.
As a head coach, was it like seeing those prospective student athletes put on that Talladega esports uniform for the first time as a freshman?
Oh man, first of all, I love my uniform. I created it. Me and another student created the uniform, my logo. Oh man, when they put that uniform on, it's like, oh my God, we're an esports team. And it's like, yes, you're the Talladega College esports team. I mean, it just shows that, we have people, our school, they believe in us, even though it took them a little while, but they believe that the esports program can do mighty things. And I mean, just right now, we just had a conversation, on how to, make this esports program bigger at Talladega College. So them putting on that their jersey for the first time for game day is an awe moment, not only for them but for me.
What is it like as a head coach to see them putting it on for the first time as a senior and the first time as a freshman and last time as a senior?
They cry as seniors. I have two of my seniors. My first two seniors graduated. They did not want to leave. They tried everything to try to stay because we do have a master's program, but I want them to go out. I helped them get into graduate school. So I wanted them, they're both computer science majors. I wanted them to go out. Mr. Zandravius McElhinney, I'll say, because they're like my sons. They actually helped me build this program. Zandravius was the networking guy, and Brian Lockett was my IT specialist. So they really, those are my first two people who graduated. They just graduated May 6th, not too long, this Saturday, this past. They cried when they realized that they had to leave, Zandravius was my head person for the Smash Brothers, and Mr. Lockett was also my head team captain for the CSGO team. So when they put their jersey on the last time and they took it off, and they keep their jerseys, but when they realized they weren't going to be able to wear it and play for me no more, yeah, it was emotional.
Of course, what is that like as a head coach to see those athletes go on and go into the perspective of esports, whether it's gaming professionally or working as a coach or just engineering in esports?
I'm so happy when I have students, like just the two students I was talking about, they're going into further their computer science and coding to create video games. So that makes me feel good because I have done a job. I took two students who didn't really know what they wanted to do, but they loved the game. And now I open the door for them to go actually explore their gaming option. So for me personally, I think it's an accomplishment to say that, hey, esports gave two students the opportunity to go and do some other things besides, the things they thought they wanted to do. I gave them a different path to what they really wanted to do.
As a coach, what is it like seeing those players go on and go into college coaching of esports just like you have?
So nobody has went to college coaching yet. That's but I know I have a couple of students who plan on building building esports programs outside of Talladega once they leave or go back to their hometown, like at their high school or something. And when that happens, I'm gonna be so proud, and I will do everything I can to help those students who want to do that. Because again, this thing is bigger than me. Esports is one of those type of things it would always keep giving.
What advice would you give those high school athletes looking to get into college esports?
Contact me right now. I got you now playing. No, my advice is, listen, go to class, get those GPAs up so we can offer you scholarships, because scholarships are a big thing. Everybody needs scholarships, everybody needs money, but also not only get to know your game, but get to learn time management skills, because you're a college athlete, so you have to go to class and you have to practice. So you want to get the time management base down before you get here. That way it's just an easier transition like everybody else. I mean, same thing with basketball players. For everybody has to get that time management skill, because like I said, you have to go to class to keep your GPA to stay eligible. Also, learn how to read. I know COVID has got us into the technology age, but we don't read. I mean, every video game comes with a manual. Read the manual. Look at the hidden things that's in the game. And also be prepared to do research. And I mean research just like just like when you sent me this interview, you had to research me. And I think we missed that point on competitions, that we had to do research on our opponents. We had to do research on the game, and that research takes some time, and I advise any student to go ahead and start learning and research. So when you get there, you already know that, oh, okay, I know how to look at this and decipher this. And the biggest thing, critical thinking and problem solving skills will get you a long way.
What advice would you give those people looking to enter their first year of collegiate esports?
Be patient. Don't matter how good you think you are, there's always somebody who's better. And learn from the person that's better than you. Don't take it as that they're better because they're better than you. No, they learn. So it's okay to be patient and not to always just trying to be the head honcho. Is to, learn, sit back, watch, understand what's going on. I know a lot of people come in thinking, oh, well, I played this game at home, but that's you at home with your buddies. Now we're here at a collegiate team. So, be patient on trying to work on your craft and get some sleep. Get some sleep, people. You do not have to play the game to midnight. You can't. You got to focus. So, get some sleep. Learn how to sleep. Learn how to turn the game off and sleep so that you can be productive. I know a lot of people will play the game for 8 hours a day and don't have one inch of productivity. So be productive, be patient, and learn some other ways to get better at the game besides playing the game. Because there's other things you can do like reaction speeds, eating healthy, hand-eye coordination. All that plays in. Now, I'm a wash-up gamer, so don't ask me to do it. But those are a lot of different things that can help you become a better gamer.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to get into professional esports after collegiately?
So first thing you want to do, if you was like me, my situation, if you have a lot of people that's older than you on above making all decisions, first of all, explain them to what esports really is. Education is key for esports because young kids know what it is. People my age or younger than me know what it is, but the people making the decision don't really understand the true value of esports. So you have to, if you want to get into esports, you already know what it is, go ahead and start teaching the people around you what esports is so you can have those conversations. I found out while doing this, I just can't say esports to everybody. I have to say electronic sports, video games. I have to say I have to explain what Rocket League is. I have to explain what Call of Duty is, CS:GO, Super Smash. I have to explain those things. So don't get frustrated when people, because they don't know. They're not into the gaming side of everything. They're not watching game ranks like I am. They're not watching, E3 every year when it comes out. So you have to sit down and be patient and explain yourself articulately to let them understand what your goal is. And then once you do that, I guarantee getting the esports program will be better. Also explain them, the biggest thing, explain how your school will be better off for the esports program.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to become head coaches and run their own esports program?
Man, be prepared. Be prepared to not be prepared. But let me say it that way. Be prepared to not be prepared because I was not prepared. Even though I talked a good game, I said what I can do. As soon as it started, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this bad. Coolest thing you can do, though, is join some of these conferences. Like I said, I'm a part of NACE, the NACE. That really helped me a lot. I had a mentor, my mentor, Sergio from Maryland University. He has a great program up there in Maryland. Me and him talk a lot. Actually, the first time we talked, he changed my whole mindset. How I'm supposed to run my to do, and that can be the second explaining all the things he told me to do, and I was like, this made sense. So yeah, get somebody, talk to people who's been in the program before. So some of the roles you don't have. If I was them, I also advise getting consulting. My college didn't want to pay for consulting, but when building an esports lab or trying to get an esports program, a consultant would literally drag out some of the things that you miss.
Where can my listeners find you on social media along with the Talladega esports app?
All right, so that's Let's start. We had so many. Okay. So you can find us on Twitter at Dega Esports. You can find us on Twitch at Dega Esports also, and on Facebook as Dega F5 Esports. Plus our Instagram is the same thing. Also, you can go to the Talladega College website. We have a link on there that brings you to our link tree for Dega Esports. So we're on YouTube. We're on all social media. I don't know the TikTok yet. My social media person is gone for the summer, so I got to pick it up. So we do have TikTok, but you can contact me directly. My emails and everything is on every social media in my office number. So please feel free to contact me. If you want to come to Talladega College and get some and join our esports team, we're open to recruitment all summer long.
Thank you again, Coach Carlise Tucker, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the Talladega College head esports coach and director of esports.
Thank you, sir.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon. You can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Carlise Tucker, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.